Hey everyone, welcome to Kicking with Kipes. I'm Kipes, and we go over every game every night, go over the goal scorers, go over the highlights of what might have happened in each game. We don't go over things on Monday nights because we do Mix It Up Mondays, where I just post a couple different videos other than the usual just to ease our way into the week. So why don't you join us, hit like, hit subscribe, and if you enjoy this video, let's follow along and create this community. Our first game is in Anaheim, where the Anaheim Ducks, they are taking on the Montreal Canadiens, and the Anaheim Ducks, they win 3-2 at home. The Ducks, they had to do it the hard way. They rallied from 3 goals behind to get the win tonight. Alex Killorn, he led the way. The Wiley veteran, he got a goal and an assist for the Ducks. The Ducks, they did some quick waddling on their way to getting 2 goals in about 40 seconds apart. Mason McTavish and Frank Vatrano getting those 2 goals really close to each other. The sophomore Leo Carlsson, he had 2 assists in this game as well, doing very good in this game for the young player. Lucas Dostal, he was in net for the Ducks today. He made 21 saves. The Ducks, they are now 22, 24, and 6. They have won 4 of their past 5 games, and they're kind of squandering their ability to get into the not the wild card, but squandering their way to get into a lottery draft pick. And for a while, it looked like that's the trajectory that they were going to be on, but now they're starting to string some wins together, and I don't know what the game plan is in the state of California in Anaheim. For the Habs, Christian Dvorak and Joel Armia, they were the 2 goal scorers for the Montreal Canadiens today. Sam Montembeault, he is a goalie for the Canadiens in the Four Nations faceoff in 10 days. I'm just dumbfounded with the goalie choices for this, so let's just see what's going on. And Sam Montembeault, he made 19 saves for the Canadiens. They are now 24, 23, and 5. They have lost 5 in a row. Not good whatsoever right now. Forward for the Anaheim Ducks, Frank Vatrano, he has a goal in 3 straight games. He's having a very nice little run of games right now, and 5 in the past 6 games. So if he continues to do this, he might just be an all-star again this year, even though there is no all-star game. So the Anaheim Ducks, they come from behind to beat the Montreal Canadiens 3-2 Sunday afternoon. Moving on, we got the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Jacob Pelletier and Andrei Kuzmenko were not in the lineup today, the newly acquired forwards for the Philadelphia Flyers. The Colorado Avalanche, they won 2-0 on home ice today. Mackenzie Blackwood, he's on an absolutely amazing run of games right now. 2 straight shutouts for the goaltender. He was such a godsend for the Colorado Avalanche and their goaltending issues. They were horrible in net at the beginning of the season, and then they went and acquired Blackwood and Wedgwood, and just it's turned their season right around. Blackwood's performance during this season so far for the Colorado Avalanche is just another question of where and why the Canadiens made their choices in net and why they excluded 2 extremely good goaltenders in Blackwood and Logan Thompson. Binnington, he struggled all year. Why is he on the team? Why? I just don't understand. Why are you choosing these goalies that are struggling? Montembeault, he's having an okay season. Binnington, okay season. But Blackwood, he's doing amazing. Thompson, he's on the second best team in the league. What made you make these decisions? Please explain. The 2 goal scorers for the Colorado Avalanche was Sam Girard and Nathan MacKinnon. Jonathan Drouin, he also had 2 assists in this game. The Avalanche, they are now 31, 21, and 2. They're having a spectacular season. They have won 3 of their past 4 games, and it's kind of like they're not missing a step without Mikko Rantanen in the lineup. Samuel Ersson, he was in net for the Philadelphia Flyers today. He didn't look too bad in this game, but he unfortunately did get the loss in this one. He will be representing Sweden in the Four Nations faceoff in 10 days, replacing Jacob Markstrom, and you can only assume that Ersson will be that 3rd goaltender. The Flyers, they are now 23, 25, and 6, and they have been shut out in 3 straight games. And it just begs the question, you don't have Frost or Farabee in the lineup, and you didn't include Pelletier and Kuzmenko in the lineup. It just, to me, it makes no sense. And you needed goal scoring. Those 2 players could add that to your lineup, and you just didn't put them in the lineup. Maybe there was external reasons of why not, but I don't know. Surprisingly enough, this was Nathan MacKinnon's first power play goal since October 28th, a span of 44 games. Just wild that kind of player has not scored on the man advantage. He has reached 20 goals for the 10th season of his career and 8 in a row. Just absolutely amazing. He's a mutant. Seeing that guy skate up and down the ice is just, he's like a galloping horse. It's just absolutely awesome to watch. Another potential injury for the Finns in the Four Nations faceoff. Flyers defenseman Rasmus Ristolainen, he had to leave the game in the second period with an undisclosed injury, and John Tortorella, head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, did not disclose what was going on. So they've already had to replace 2 defensemen for the Finnish team, and hopefully they don't have to replace a third because there's not many left. So the Philadelphia Flyers, they lose to the Colorado Avalanche 2-0 in Denver on Sunday afternoon. Up next, we got the Buffalo Sabres taking on the New Jersey Devils in Buffalo, where the Buffalo Sabres, they hold on barely, winning 4-3 at home. Tage Thompson, he continues to be Tage Thompson, Mr. Consistent. He gets a goal and 2 assists in this game. Thompson did all that before leaving the game in the third period after a dirty hit from Stefan Noesen. Noesen, he got booted from the game for that hit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got suspended a game or so, or at least a maximum fine. Sabres coach Lindy Ruff said that Thompson, he's doing very good right now. He passed all the tests for concussion protocol and whatnot, so that is good news for Sabres fans and good news for Thompson, who he is a very big part of that Buffalo Sabres team. Jason Zucker and JJ Peterka, they both scored as well for the Buffalo Sabres. Rasmus Dahlin, captain of the Buffalo Sabres, he had 2 assists for the team. The Sabres, they are now 21, 26, and 5. They are only 5 games away from being around that 500 mark, and which is extremely impressive, I've got to say, after losing 13 games in a row earlier this season. So you got to give credit where it's due. The Sabres, they have won 3 in a row, so yeah, maybe they'll improve a little bit, but if I were them, I would almost want to stay near the bottom and get a lottery pick, and they were very close to that for a little bit earlier in the season. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he made 21 saves for the Buffalo Sabres today. He will be in the Four Nations faceoff for Finland. For the Devils, Jack Hughes, he scored in this game. Paul Cotter, he got 2 in this game as well. The Devils, they are now 29, 19, and 6. They had won 3 of 4, so this is just a little bump in the road for them. They have now won 3 of 5, which is still a pretty impressive little run of games. The Leafs would absolutely love to do that right now. But at the same time, the Devils, they are a very good team, and I don't think they'll have an issue making the playoffs this year. Jake Allen, he did have a rough start to this game. He let 4 goals in on 27 shots, and then backup goaltender Nico Dawes, he came in for the start of the third period. He stopped 7 shots that he faced in the game. Jack Hughes, he extended his point streak to 5 games. He's having a very good run of games at the moment. 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points in those 5 games. So he is just a very dynamic player. He's a little small on the ice, but at the same time, he just weaves in and out of all the defenders, and he's just a very impressive player to watch. I can't wait to see him play with his brother on the American team in a couple days. Tage Thompson, he recorded his 300th NHL point on the JJ Peterka goal, so he has a very good career right behind him, and he just continues to impress all the time. And if the Sabres might think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if some teams were wanting to sniff around that player, seeing if they could add him to the lineup, but I don't think the Sabres would really give him up. So the Buffalo Sabres, they hold on to their lead, and they end up winning 4-3 against the New Jersey Devils at home. Up next, we got the Florida Panthers taking on the New York Islanders in Florida, where the Florida Panthers, they end the New York Islanders' 7-game winning streak, beating them 6-3. Carter Verhaeghe was the absolute stud of the game. He had a hat trick and an assist for 4 points in this game. So it's just so impressive that the Florida Panthers can keep a hold of all this talent on this team. Verhaeghe, Reinhart, Bennett, all these guys, Barkov, Kachuk, they're all so impressive and so good, and they're all on amazing contracts as well. Speaking of 2 of those other players, Reinhart and Kachuk, they each had a goal and an assist in this game as well. And Barkov, he had 3 assists in this game. So all those players that I just mentioned that are on amazing contracts, they all contributed big time in this game. The Florida Panthers, they have now won 3 games in a row, maintaining that top spot in the Atlantic Division. Spencer Knight, he was in net for the Florida Panthers. I called him out in my last video that he played in, saying that maybe the Panthers have to look into someone else, and he responds in a good way, making 30 saves along the way. The 3 goal scorers for the New York Islanders was Mark Gatcomb, never heard of the guy, he has 2 goals on the season, but Jean-Gabriel Pageau and Kyle McLean, those were the goal scorers for the Islanders today. The Islanders, they are now 24, 21, and 7. Their 7-game win streak, I didn't realize it was that long, but they have been very impressive as of late. Unfortunately, that had to come to an end tonight. I hope I get this name right. It sounds very Czechish, and I would say it as Jakub Skaric or Jakub Skaric or Jakub Skarik. I don't know which one it is. I hope I'm not butchering it in any way, but he made his NHL debut in net for the Islanders today. He made 26 saves in the losing effort. The Islanders were without two very important pieces to their lineup, Matt Barzal and Scott Mayfield. They were both injured in the last game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, so they had to miss this one. Hopefully, they will be better soon for the Islanders. The Panthers, they did not waste any time getting the lead in this game. Verhaeghe, he scored 39 seconds into the game, beating Skaric on the backhand. So it was very back and forth, though. The Panthers, they were winning 2-0. Then the Islanders, they crawled back, making it 2-2. Then it was 3-3. But after it was 3-3, the Panthers, they just took control of the game, proving why they are the defending Stanley Cup champions. This was Carter Verhaeghe's fourth career NHL hat trick. He is just a veteran of this game as well, bouncing all over the place and then finding a legit home in the state of Florida, not Tampa Bay, because he was on that team too. But in Sunrise, Florida, he has found a very good home and been impressive ever since he's really been there. And it was his first NHL hat trick since April 1st of 2023. Very impressive from that player. So the Florida Panthers, they win 6-3 over the New York Islanders Sunday afternoon. We head on over to Madison Square Garden where the New York Rangers are playing the Vegas Golden Knights. The Rangers, they win 4-2 over the Vegas Golden Knights today. Jonathan Quick, he was the star at the end of this game. He made 34 saves to get the win in this game, becoming the first ever U.S.-born goalie to reach 400 NHL wins. It's been a long time coming for him to get that 400th win. I feel like it was around the middle of December that he got 399, and I was like, oh, it's going to come any day now, and now we're February 2nd, and it's now here. But congratulations to him. That's a huge accomplishment. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if he is a NHL Hall of Famer one day. That is just a record that will be very hard to be broken nowadays with how little each goalie plays, and they split the tandems up big time in the NHL nowadays. So him getting to 400, I find, will be a very hard one to beat. The Vegas Golden Knights, they were in control of this game, but the New York Rangers, they scored 3 times in the third period to overcome that deficit and get the win. Mika Zibanejad, he's starting to heat up in the nick of time. Just in time for the Four Nations face-off. He will be representing Sweden in that tournament. He scored the tying goal and added 2 assists to help his team get the victory. It was also Zibanejad's 900th career game, so he came in clutch in a milestone game for him. Veteran Artemi Panarin, he also had a very good game in this one. He had a goal and 2 assists, helping his team, leading by example. K'Andre Miller, the defenseman for the Rangers, he scored the go-ahead goal in this game. He is having a slow and a bit of a quiet season this year, and he was not included in the U.S. squad for the Four Nations face-off, so I'm sure that was a rude awakening for that player. The Rangers, they had won 3 in a row. The Rangers, they had lost 3 in a row heading into this game, so this was a game that they desperately needed to get their mojo back and against a very good Vegas team, and I think they did just that. For the Vegas Golden Knights, Jack Eichel, he scored twice, the only 2 goals for that team, so Eichel, he's loving life in Vegas. He leaves Buffalo, wins the cup with Vegas, and he just continues to be Mr. Reliable for that team. The Vegas Golden Knights, they have now lost 3 in a row. They better get their groove back, better get back in that win column because that division is so tight right now and they might lose control of it. Adin Hill, he's one of the other goaltenders. He's one of the only goaltenders that I'm not questioning for Canada. He earned his spot on that team. He did lose tonight, though. He made 24 saves in the losing effort. JT Miller, he has returned to the New York Rangers for the second time. This is his second stint for this team, and he has been very impressive in the 2 games that he's been back. 4 points in those 2 games. He got 2 assists tonight. He got 2 goals last night, so it might just have been the change of scenery that's perfect for JT Miller. So the Rangers, they come from behind, defeating the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2. We head on over to Dallas, Texas, where the Dallas Stars are facing off against the Columbus Blue Jackets and the home team, the Dallas Stars, they win 5-3. Evgeny Dadonov, he was the hero in this game. He scored twice in the third period to help his team get over that hump and get the win. His first goal of the game, it was a bit controversial because some people thought that it was high sticking, but the refs deemed it to be at the crossbar or below because they deemed it a good goal. Dadonov's second goal of the game was maybe a bit lucky, but he wrapped it around nice and quick. It went off the defenseman Damon Severson's stick and into the back of the net, beating goalie Elvis Merzlikins. For the Dallas Stars, Wyatt Johnson, he also had a good game. He had a goal and an assist in this game. Thomas Harley, the defenseman, he had 2 assists in this game as well. The Stars, they're having a great season. 34-17-1. I predicted the Columbus Blue Jackets to win this game, and I was wrong. But this was a game that it could have gone either way. The Jackets, they're being extremely impressive right now, and the Stars, they're just a very good team. But I went with the team that was a bit on the hotter end of the spectrum, so I'm okay with being wrong in this one. Casey DeSmith, he was in net for the Dallas Stars today. He made 27 saves for the win. 3 goals for the Columbus Blue Jackets in this game. They were from Ivan Provorov, Cole Sillinger, and Adam Fantilli, University of Michigan alumni. The Blue Jackets, they are now 26, 20, and 7. They're extremely impressive, all things considered, for this season. They had won its previous 3 games, so just a little bump, and I think they will just hop right back onto the win train. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Elvis Merzlikins, the goaltender for the Columbus Blue Jackets, he was in net today, making 34 saves. He was pretty busy tonight. 2 players for the Columbus Blue Jackets went down with injury and did not return. Defenseman Dante Fabro, he left with an upper body injury, and Kirill Marchenko. That is a guy they cannot lose right now. He has been so good for this team this year so far. He left after getting hit by a puck in the second period, and it didn't look too pretty, but I think it's something that won't keep him out at all or very long at all. Logan Stankoven, he got the goal that tied the game in the third period. It was from a nice cross-ice pass from newly acquired Michael Granlund. It was his first game as a Dallas Star, as well as Cody Ceci. It was a very nice pass from Granlund. He continues his very impressive season. I called it in my last video that I was talking about the San Jose Sharks, saying a lot of teams should be interested in Michael Granlund, and it turns out the Stars were. So that was a nice trade for the Stars. Extremely good for that team to add a player like that. So the Dallas Stars and newly acquired Cody Ceci and Michael Granlund, they are victorious in this game today. They win 5-3 against the Columbus Blue Jackets at home. Up next, we got the Utah Hockey Club hosting the St. Louis Blues, and the away team, the St. Louis Blues, they win 2-1. Jordan Kyrou, he broke the tie in the third period. Former Sarnia Sting, he gets the game-winning goal. Alexander Texier, he got the other goal in this game for the St. Louis Blues. They improve to 24, 25, and 4. They snapped a 4-game losing streak. They have just been very lackluster all season long. New coach Jim Montgomery hasn't really seemed to be able to get the team going whatsoever. Jordan Binnington, he's a goalie for the Canadiens in the Four Nations face-off. I'm questioning that decision big time. He did get the win today, but yikes, the Canadian goaltenders need some help big time, and luckily they have stars all around that team, and hopefully the goaltending gets protected a little bit. The lone goal scorer for the Utah Hockey Club was Michael Kesselring. Connor Ingram, he was in net for Utah. He made 26 saves in the losing effort. The Utah Hockey Club, they're now 21, 22, and 9. Very unimpressive so far this season in their inaugural season. They have now lost 5 games in a row, and I think their playoff hopes are done at this point, unless they go on a crazy win streak and impress us all, but I think it's all done and dusted at this point. They just haven't been able to prove that they have been able to hold any leads whatsoever. It's just been very unimpressive so far. So nothing too much to talk about, only 3 goals, and the St. Louis Blues, they win 2-1 against the Utah Hockey Club in Utah tonight. Up next, we got the Detroit Red Wings facing off against the Vancouver Canucks in Vancouver, where the Detroit Red Wings, thanks to Alex DeBrincat, they win in overtime 3-2. DeBrincat, his second goal of the game was obviously in overtime with about 42 seconds left in that overtime period before it went into the shootout. So the Red Wings, they pick up that second point in this game. The Vancouver Canucks, they only get a point in this game, while the Calgary Flames, they get 2 points, just creeping away from the Vancouver Canucks, which makes me very happy. DeBrincat, the goal in overtime was a cross-ice pass from Lucas Raymond. DeBrincat just absolutely crushed the puck on the one-timer past goalie Kevin Lankinen. The goalie that was in net for the Detroit Red Wings was Alex Lyon. He made 25 saves for the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings, they're being extremely impressive right now. They are 27, 21, and 5. They are coming off a 3-1 win against the Calgary Flames last night. They looked very good in that game. Once they got that lead, it was extremely hard for the Calgary Flames to get a puck on net, let alone a goal. And the Wings, they're just so impressive right now. This was the Red Wings' 6th straight win, so very impressive. It's so good from the Red Wings. Their fans deserve this. The Red Wings, they are on a 4-game road trip right now. They have won the first 3 of that road trip, so very impressive to go on the road on the West Coast and win all these games. They beat the Kraken on Thursday night, I think it was, and then they beat the Flames last night, and then they beat the Vancouver Canucks tonight. And it's just impressive that they win both of these games on a back-to-back, extremely tired with travel. It's just extremely impressive. Kevin Lankinen, he made 14 saves in net for the losing effort for the Vancouver Canucks. Philip Hedl, he scored in his first game as a Vancouver Canuck after getting traded in the JT Miller trade from the New York Rangers. The Canucks, they are now 23, 18, 11. They are 0-1-1 since trading away JT Miller, so they have to get that regulation win, and it hasn't come yet. Only 2 games, so a small sample size. 3 of the 4 players that the Vancouver Canucks acquired in the past couple days, they made their debuts for the Canucks tonight. Defenseman Marcus Pettersson, Philip Hedl, he got the goal tonight, and Drew O'Connor. He played tonight but didn't really impress too much tonight. The Canucks, they were missing their number 1 defenseman, Quinn Hughes, with an undisclosed injury. He was a very late scratch. He even took warm-ups and then decided he couldn't play anymore tonight. Last night, I noticed that he was a little bit limber. He went off, he came back, but then skated around and looked a little soft on the feet. Besides Alex DeBrincat, Ben Sherratt was the other goal scorer for the Red Wings tonight. He put the game at 2-1 in favor of the Detroit Red Wings about 6 minutes into the second period. So the Red Wings, they continue to impress in major fashion. They win 3-2 in overtime against the Vancouver Canucks Sunday night. Our last game of the night is my hometown team, the Calgary Flames. They are in Seattle, Washington. The Calgary Flames, like I just mentioned in the Detroit segment, they lost last night and then they had to travel on a back-to-back. That is absolutely horrendous. You have to play 2 nights in a row and you have to travel. I know it was just Seattle, and for Detroit, it was just Vancouver, and it's not too far away. It's only an 11-hour drive, so I only assume it's like a 2.5, 3-hour flight. But at the same time, that is brutal. Playing less than 24 hours after playing another game, and I just feel so bad for these players. Yes, they're millionaires, but that is horrendous, having to skate that hard that much. Back to the game though, Morgan Frost, newly acquired Morgan Frost for the Calgary Flames. He got his first as a Flame. I should mention that the Flames, they win 3-2 in this game over the Seattle Kraken. They got 3 really quick goals in the first period and just strung out that for the rest of the game. It got a little sketchy near the end, and with about 2 seconds left in the game, Dan Vladar had to make a very good save, but it was just extremely impressive from the Calgary Flames to be able to hold on to that win. Yegor Sharangovich, he got one of the other goals for the Calgary Flames. He also added an assist to his tally tonight. The Flames, they are now 26, 19, and 7. They have won 2 of their past 3 games after losing like 3 of 4 or 4 or 5 or something like that. So this is a very nice bounce back. They do host the Toronto Maple Leafs on Tuesday night, so that is another huge test for this Flames team. Dan Vladar, Darth Vader, he was in the net for the Calgary Flames tonight. He played extremely well. He made 29 saves. You could tell that the Calgary Flames were so deadbeat tired at the second half of the second period and leading into the third period. Their legs were gone, and Dan Vladar had to stand tall. I've ragged on that guy a couple times so far this season, and he just came through in big time fashion for the Flames tonight. Capo Caco and Brandon Tanev were the 2 goal scorers for the Seattle Kraken in this game. They are now 23, 28, and 3, not having a very good season. In my opinion, their season is done and dusted in the hopes of making a playoff push. They have lost 3 of 4 and not looking good in those games either. Joey Decord, he was in net for Team Canada. He should be on Team Canada, but at the same time, he made 32 saves for Seattle in the losing effort. This game was filled with a bit of controversy though. Jaden Schwartz, he thought he got the opening goal of the game about halfway through this first period, and it got disallowed for goaltender interference. Yes, I see where the refs came from calling it goaltender interference, but it was also extremely soft call. And then the Seattle Kraken, they challenged a goaltender interference on Yegor Sharangovich's goal. It was deemed not to have goaltender interference, and yes, I could tell that the Sharangovich was trying to play the puck in the motion, but yes, he technically interfered with Joey Decord, and I thought it was going to get called back. It did not. The Flames went up 3-0. Happy days. So the Seattle Kraken, they lose to the Calgary Flames at home Sunday night 3-2. All right, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, do your thing. Let's grow this community nice and big so we can do some live streams. Hello, Reese. But at the same time, I will be off for the next 2 days. Tomorrow is Mix It Up Monday. Tuesday, Calgary versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. In Calgary at the Saddledome, I will be in attendance. Let me know if you will be there. I would love to meet you. I have the day off of work as well. So let's just see what happens. So we will see you back Wednesday night. I will do predictions on Tuesday though. I will not be doing recaps because I'll be at the game. But I will be back in full swing Wednesday to do predictions and recaps in the same day, and hope to see you then. Thank you so much for being here. It means the absolute world to me. Have a great night. Take care.